Well, now that it's getting cold here in Texas, this is an ideal time to talk about winterizing your property. To initially start a winterization, you need to turn the water off to the house. And this is done at the street at the water meter. It's very simple to do, and it doesn't take a whole lot of tools. It doesn't even take really big tools, as you can see. First off, what you need to do is just open the meter and determine which one is yours. Inside here is a gauge that spins and a pipe coming from the main water line directly into your property. All you have to do is turn the knob so that it's going crossways across the pipe. That's the indicator that the water is turned off to your property, and it doesn't take very much effort. Really, that's all there is to it. Now there's no water flowing from the street to our property. That's it. The next step in this process is to go through the entire house, opening all the valves on all the faucets, flushing the toilets, and turning on the showers. When you do this, make sure you leave the valves open for the entire time. What this does is this allows any water in the system to drain out of the house. You would be absolutely amazed at how much water is stored in the pipes within the walls of your home. Here in the bathrooms, you need to make sure you do the same thing. Open all the valves so that the water starts to run out of the pipes. As this runs, it'll actually slow down to a very slow trickle. We're going to go ahead and open the rest of the valves, and we'll come back and take a look at this in just a few minutes. Don't forget to open the bathtub, hot and cold water, and the valve on your shower. You want to make sure you get as much water out of the walls as you can. It's been about 10 minutes now, and as you can see, the water is barely running out of the sink, and that's wide open. The bathtub is drained, and the shower has just a little bit water left in it as well. The other thing you want to do while you're here in the bathroom is make sure the toilets are empty of water. What you need to do is turn the valve on the back next to the wall and shut the water off to the toilet. Then flush it. This empties the water out of the tank. Once that's completed, then you can come back in with either a biodegradable antifreeze, or we actually prefer to use windshield wiper fluid. It has a high alcohol content to it, which keeps it from freezing. And what that does is it actually sets in that little U piece of the pipe, both in the toilet and under the sinks. Pour this in everywhere. The nice thing about the windshield wiper fluid, it's very inexpensive and it doesn't hurt your pipes. Here in the attic, the last thing you want to do is drain the water heater. Here in Texas, most of our water heaters are in the attics, and this valve right here is what you use to drain them. All you need to do is hook a garden hose onto this and turn this valve on. It'll drain this. The last thing you want to have happen is to have this thing start leaking water all over your house because of a plastic pipe or a coupling, when it could have easily been avoided by just having it drained. It doesn't take that long, and it protects the asset for your bank. Here we are. This is the outside exterior drain. You're going to want to make sure that this stays open. As you can see, the last of the water is running out of this house. So at this point right now, let's recap real quickly what we've done. We shut the water off at the street. We drained the hot water heater, and that's if it's either in the garage or in your attic. Go ahead and get it drained. Opening all the valves throughout the house allows air to go into those pipes, and it pushes that water. You're using gravity to help push the water out of the house. Leaving all the valves open lets those lines slowly dry out. By leaving antifreeze in the P-traps, that will keep them from freezing because you're not going to get the water out of that little U section. So with that done and the last of the water running out, this property is now ready to have signs put on it that say this property has been winterized. Always remember that before you turn the water back on, go in and shut all the valves. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with a house with a really big water problem, and it's going to be your fault. Winterizing properties is an important part of maintaining your REO asset for your client. This will save them thousands of dollars because a broken pipe that's not discovered for several days can lead to a tremendous amount of damage. Regardless of what it costs to have a property winterized, it sure beats the cost that you may be paying if you're having to redo a house that you didn't take the time to have winterized. You sure don't want to be paying that bill.